Well, what is up, all of you Ugnots and Jawas out there, and welcome back to Mando Talk. This is another edition of a Friday quick spoiler discussion of the latest episode of The Bad Batch. We are now on episode 8, and we are going to talk about spoilers. And man, you can probably tell I'm feeling down right now, and we're going to specifically get to why here in a minute. But regardless, I'm very thankful for you being here, for you checking out this video. Click subscribe if you enjoy this video, if you enjoy any of our videos, and like this video. It really helps us out. It helps this video get out there to others. First of all, I appreciate those of you that checked out our live stream last night where we cover the Star Wars news. We're going to continue to do that every Thursday night. So again, you want to be subscribed to our channel to continue to get great Star Wars content from just Star Wars fans, people that just love Star Wars. So again, we would appreciate it. But let's do this thing. We are going to talk about The Bad Batch episode 8. Quick spoiler takeaway. So again, if you have not seen episode 8 titled Reunion at this point of The Bad Batch, click away from this video and then come back after you have seen it. Monday, me and Zach will dive deeper into this episode, but I wanted to give you guys my initial thoughts and quick takeaway. So let's do this thing. We are going to now dive into spoilers, and the episode opens on Kamino, and we see Admiral Rampart giving Crosshair the direct order to terminate Clone Force 99 if he finds them on Braca. That is very much to the disliking of the Kaminoan Prime Minister, obviously because he wants Omega. They have other plans. The Empire is no longer allowing them to pursue those plans, so they're having to do their own thing, and we'll get more to that here in a minute. Next thing, we switch to Braca. We get just that quick little intro of, hey, Crosshair's back. Finally, by the way, I am so glad that I finally, 2 weeks in a row, I made the prediction that Crosshair was coming back, and he finally came back this week, so I'm very appreciative of that. But we switched to Braca, and Wrecker is training Omega in disarming. We see these devices used later in the episode, so it was a good little connection there, a little training, and then we use them later in the episode. I wasn't surprised by that at all. We're going to keep getting those things as we've got them before. And then Hunter makes one of those questionable decisions, really, maybe for one of the first times of the show. He decides to stay on Braca, even though, let's see, I think it was Echo and Wrecker and Omega just realized that the Scrapper Guild had spotted them, and Rex had informed them that, that's not good news. But Hunter decides to stick around to get parts off of, or get devices, get supply parts, everything off of the Jedi cruiser that they could in order to even their debt with Sid. And I think this is eventually, now that we know the outcome, this is more proof that they need to get out of the bounty hunter life. And I think Hunter definitely at the end of this episode probably regrets this decision. But Echo, I really wanted to point out this one quote that Echo said, quote unquote, "We are soldiers. What other path is there?" And he was talking about joining Rex's cause. And I think eventually that might be where this show lands, is that they might team up with Rex, regardless of if he's working for Rebellion right now or if he's working for Fulcrum with Ahsoka. Who knows? I think that's where we're headed, but I might be wrong. I have no insider information on this whatsoever. Now, we do get like a switch. Again, we keep getting these like little scenes of just the Kaminoans giving us an update of what they are doing. And the Prime Minister Kaminoan calls upon more bounty hunters to find the quote-unquote young clone intact. I'm now assuming that this is Omega, and to avoid getting to the end of the episode right now, as I was watching this moment, my first takeaway, first question, and you let me know in the comments if you feel like this is true. The first thing, does this mean Fennec Shand is working for the Kaminoans? Because we saw earlier in this show that she was trying to get Omega. So maybe for me, that's confirmation there that that's who she was working for. She's trying to get Omega back to Kamino. But for me, my mental headcanon, that always tries to connect all these bigger characters to the Bad Batch, could this mean that Boba Fett could eventually find his way involved in the Bad Batch plotline? Obviously, we know that the Kaminoans are familiar with working with the Fett family, as in Jango Fett in Attack of the Clones. So maybe that is a hotline that they might reach out to eventually. But again, I asked those two questions before knowing the outcome of this episode. So I just wanted to throw those two questions out there. Fennec Shand, does that mean she is working for the Kaminoans? And then could this mean Boba Fett maybe might make an appearance eventually in the Bad Batch? So we then, again, after that little plug with the Kaminoans, they keep doing those every time they show up in episodes. We then go back to Braca, and Crosshair arrives. And what a great scene. What a great visual. Honestly, all of this, great visual throughout the episode, but specifically the action that ensues on Braca once Crosshair arrives. Crosshair predicts every movement that Clone Force 99 makes. He knows that they're going to tap into their comms to avoid them. He eventually also finds them escaping through the engine, and he just continues to seem like he was one step ahead. Now, when the cannons came online, that is when things just went crazy. That allowed the crew to escape initially, but it didn't really do much because, again, Crosshair finds them. The Imperials activate the engine as the crew is trying to escape out of the engine, which is insane, and again led to some great shots. And then eventually the crew uses explosives to break that engine in half. Crosshair gets fried to a crisp, and we think they get away. Now, at this point, I was already very impressed with the episode. I thought it was going to be a very good episode at that point, but when the crew, or specifically when Hunter and Omega get to the ship, they see that all of the clones that were surrounding their cruiser are wiped out. We knew that was trouble. For me, I was thinking, okay, this is going to be Fennec Shand. And that's just confirmation that Fennec Shand has been working with the Kaminoans to try to bring Omega back. But we get the reveal that one of the characters that we even mentioned last week on our other live stream about the news, Cad Bane returns from the Clone Wars, and I was very thrilled when I saw him pop up on the screen, and I was very surprised when I saw him pop up on the screen. And it leads to a shootout that was very similar to that unused footage of Boba Fett and Cad Bane himself in the Clone Wars. And it ends in disaster, honestly. That's why I opened up I'm fresh. Like 10 seconds before I hit record, I just finished watching the episode. So that's why I kind of seemed maybe bummed at the beginning, because this doesn't end good for our crew. Hunter, it looks like initially he could be killed, but I had a feeling, obviously, that wasn't going to be the case. But Cad Bane shoots Hunter in the chest. Cad Bane wins the shootout, and he stuns Omega, taking her, this, again, going back to that Kaminoan scene earlier, I think is confirmation that Cad Bane was the other bounty hunter that the Prime Minister, had reached out to. I mean, there could also be others, but Cad Bane is the one that has made contact first. He's gotten the job done, and I'm assuming he is now back to, or trying to take Omega back to Kamino, unless he's working for someone else. That could be a possibility. Who knows? But that's currently what I'm thinking. You let me know what you think. But anyway, I paused there because I'm just trying to wrap my head around this still, man. It was pretty, I don't want to say epic. It was great to see Cad Bane come back, but it was tough to see things go down that way. Eventually, then, Crosshair is aided, and he gave me a Dengar vibe there as he was, getting the mask and wrapped up and everything that the Empire was doing for him to, get him back to his feet. And then we get this cool little scene. It was like a video game shot almost. It gave me like Halo vibes, kind of. Hunter is carried onto the ship in that shot where all you see is just his point of view and you can hear him breathing hard. I'm sure, I mean, I could sense his or him coming to and him realizing, what has just happened and that Omega is gone. And the episode then ends with Hunter saying, "We need to find her." That's the mission from here on out. And currently, at least, again, because it seems like Cad Bane is working for the Kaminoans, we're going to go back to Camino. Who knows, though? I might be wrong again. But yeah, that is the episode. So big takeaways. Number one, it stands out, obviously. Cad Bane is back. I loved that character in the Clone Wars. He was always very cool to see. And I want to know what has happened in between that gap, though. Like, give us a scene. If that's all that it's going to be, that's fine. But give us a scene explaining how he got to this moment. I would love to see it. And then the second takeaway, I guess, for me is that Omega's gone. Third takeaway, Crosshair's finally back. And he did some great things, but at this point, he's very much injured. We'll see what comes of that. But other than that, that's the episode. A lot of Kaminoan plugs here and there, like we keep getting here and there in this show. But yeah, I enjoyed the episode quite a bit, and we hope that you enjoyed the episode. And if you enjoyed the episode so much, come back and check out our full spoiler discussion on Monday, where we're going to dive into these things that I talked about even deeper, if that's even possible. Trust me, you should believe me, we always go deeper into every single thing that I talk about on these quick spoiler takeaways. We always go deeper on those on our Monday spoiler heavy discussions. So again, you want to be subscribed. You want to check out all of our socials at Mando Talk, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, at Mando Talk. I already said that. But anyway, I am ecstatic to talk more about this episode with Zach, and I'm ecstatic for you to hear it. So I'm going to get out of here. I hope you have a blessed weekend. And guess what? As always, we have spoken.